Welcome to the Startup Grind.
Some of you must be thinking, why in the world a guy comes all the way from Brazil over here to speak about education? And I'll tell you in 2 lines. First, because I'm a strong believer that education is the strongest power in changing an individual condition of life, a community, and the entire world. And second, I do believe that there's great opportunity in investment and in business opportunities, both in America and especially in emerging countries. And I'm going to give you the examples of those 2 sides, how education changed my life and how education also changed my financial pocket. Okay, I was born and raised in Brazil, and when I was 12 years old, my parents met the missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, best known as the Mormons. And those young Mormon missionaries, they taught me that once in a while, this little thing works and once in a while it doesn't work. So how can I make those slides change? There you go. Try once again. Thank you so much. Kyle, right? Yes. And I learned some concepts from those young elders that had a great impact in my life. And one of the concepts that they taught me is that success happens when preparation meets an opportunity. So in a way, most of you, and I included myself in that group, we are in a constant preparation moment. And at some point, an opportunity will cross our way. If we are ready, we will embrace that opportunity, and that will make an entire difference in our lives. They encouraged me to come to America and to go to school in an American institution. So I graduated from BYU, and after graduation, I went back to my country. And this is something that is very important because I know that we have some international students here. If you stay in America, you have great chances to succeed. If you go back to your country, you have a larger chance to succeed because there's a lot of competition in America. In your country, with your experience here, you have greater opportunities to meet success. So I went back to Brazil, and all that I wanted was to build a career as an executive, up until one day when a friend from the office where I worked at, he asked me this question: Carlos, could you teach us some English lessons at night? So now I make a pause. Individual works Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. The least thing that he thinks in doing when he gets back home at night is teaching, tutoring, working. What the individual likes to do at night? He likes to drink, to party, to go out, to go shopping. He likes to do several things. The least thing is working. Well, my entrepreneur side thought this way. Well, if I give some evening classes, I'll get some extra bucks in my pocket, and some extra money doesn't hurt anyone. So I started teaching at home. 1 student, 2 students, 3 students. Up to the time that I didn't have any more free time to have an extra student. Since I was married then, I talked to my wife, and this is how a husband talks to his wife when he wants something from her. Sweetheart. There are some guys at work that want some evening classes. Could you teach? Now, ladies here in the audience, what do women like to do in the evening? Teach evening classes? No, they don't like to do that. What do they like to do? Shopping. They like to watch TV. But I think that I married to an entrepreneur woman, and she thought the same way. Extra lessons in the evening means extra bucks, and extra bucks gives me more money to go shopping. And this is what she did. Then we had so many students in the evening, and I continued working during the day as an executive. And then there was this question in our mind. And now, what should he do? Should he open a school? So I did what most intelligent people do when they are in a moment of decision. I went to talk to my friends and see what my friends would have to say about my business project. And now tell me, what do you think that my friends told me then? Oh, you've seen this presentation already, yeah? That's everything that you've been thinking is what they said. You are crazy, man. Don't do this. There's too much competition. Bad economy. And some, more optimistic, they said, Carlos, please be aware that there's no money in teaching. Well, after hearing all these words of encouragement, motivation from my friends, what do you think that I did? I didn't expect all this pessimism. I confess that I went back home and I cried. And my friends, what did they do? Ha, 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 ha. I knew that he was not going to do it. I knew that he was going to give up. I knew that he was not going to go too far with this idea. Well, time passed by, and today I am the one that laughs. And my friends, some of my friends cry. And why is it that some of my friends cry? Because maybe, some of them also had some dreams, some projects, some potential business concepts, but they were so focused in their fears, in the imaginary ghosts, and all the negative thoughts that crossed their minds that they never gave a chance for their project to be established. So this is how Wizard School started. It started out with Wizard School, but later on we made acquisitions of other companies so that today we have a group with 10 companies in the sector of education, both language training, computer training, vocational courses. So we work through franchising, and the complete network has over 3,000 schools. We generate approximately 45,000 jobs, present in 10 countries. We serve over 1 million students, and last year we closed the year with $2 billion in gross sales. Well, some people might say, well, Carlos Martins came all the way from Brazil here to promote his business. And the answer, yes, I came here to promote the business. Thank you. But more important than promoting the business, I came here to tell you, young man, that you have a talent, you have a competence, you have skills, you have a natural gift within you. And if you want, you can transform this skill into a very prosperous business activity. And how do you do that? I'll share later on some concepts, principles, and values that we followed, that we implemented, that helped us achieve what we achieved during this period of time that we are in business. I recently launched a book, and the title in English is Awaken the Millionaire Within You. It's been in the market for 6 months now, and every week it's on the list of the most sold books in the country. It's in the process of being translated into English, so in a few months from now, it's going to be available in America. When the book is launched, please buy it. There's a line of that movie, Fiddler on the Roof, that I really appreciate. At one point, Tevye says this: when you are rich, people think that you really know. Well, I found out that that line is true, because In recent years, I have been invited by Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff to accompany her to visit in China and Russia, and we have developed strong ties with the Brazilian government. It has been mentioned already here, the population of Brazil, 200 million, and we have become one of the world leading producers of oil. Brazil is today the leading country in green fuel. 90% of the cars produced in the country, they come out with dual fuel engines, and 75% of all the cars consumers prefer ethanol rather than gas. Brazil also, as you know, has one of the largest water basins in the world. We have become also one of the large food producers. And among this 200 million population we have in the country, due to the stability of the economy and also some social programs the federal government has launched, we have approximately 50 million new consumers in the country that did not have a way to consume it in the past, but they do now. So this is more than the entire population of Argentina. So I compare this as if we had the entire population of Argentina inside Brazil, but with money in their pocket to consume. And in addition, as you know, we will have two major sports events in the country, Soccer World Cup next year, and then the Olympics 2016, which will bring a lot of business opportunities in the country. And thanks to these great events, Brazilian government is investing heavily in infrastructures. If you go to Brazil now, there are some of the major constructions in the world taking place in the country now. Stadiums, constructions, airport expansions, roads, lots and lots of investment in that area. Well, the question might be posed in your mind now is, how in the world somebody that starts teaching English at home turns his business into a worldwide activity with the potential that we have developed? So I'll share with you some of the principles that we have followed that maybe, if you wish, you may implement and might apply to your business as well. I discovered that success has a cycle, and this cycle starts with a strategy. And you are in charge of creating your own strategy. Don't trust other people to do this for you. You develop your own strategy. But once you have your strategy, then the next step is to create a plan of action. In other words, it's not enough to have the ideas here in your mind. You've got to be able to transform that in doable steps. And then when you're going to execute your plan, you find out that some plans work and some plans do not work. So that's when assessment comes in. You need to have this clear mind of selecting and choosing. What's working, we will perpetuate. What's not working, I either delete or I make some correction. And then we go back to strategy. And then somebody might say, but Carlos, we went back to the beginning. No, we did not go back to the beginning, because what I found out is that strategy that worked in the past might not work today. And the strategy that is working today might not work in the future. So from time to time, we will need some new strategies. And then I found out something that's interesting. If you really want to find out the secret of success, it's kind of simple. All that we really need to do is three things. First, you need to have a better product than the competition has. You need to have a product that's faster than the competition has. And not necessarily got to be a lower price. You got to be a competitive price. Because I found out that the consumer many times is willing to pay more for a better product that gives a faster result than to pay less price for that. And then there are three principles that I also believe very strongly. One is that we do have to have a strong team. If we have a weak team, a poor team, we'll get weak results, poor results. So it has been said yesterday already, and I am a strong believer that if we want to succeed, we got to bring good people around us. And second, those people, they need to have focus in sales. And once we talk about sales, it's sales and then how we can scale that kind of activity. And we can never, ever forget customer satisfaction. So if we invest the team, a strong team, if that team is focused in sales, and if we have the focus in customer satisfaction, we will hit success sooner or later. And this means that we need to have this capacity to think big, but start small. How many students did we start with? With one single student. And one other important thing that I found out, if you really want to be successful financially speaking, more important than learning how to earn money is learning how to save money. If we go downtown San Francisco right now, and if we stop 100 people on the street, and we ask them this question, do you know how to earn? Do you have salary? Have you had income? Or have you had salary in the past? If we stop 100 people, how many will say yes? 100 of them will say yes. If we ask the same 100 people, do you know how to save, to spare? Every month, you put some money aside to save for a future need. Out of 100, how many will say yes? 1? None? 2? Maybe 3? Who knows 4? Hardly 5? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the reasons why there is so much poverty in the world. Because most of the people have not yet learned that a portion of what you earn does not belong to you. A portion of what you earn belongs to the creation, formation, the building of your future wealth, your future assets. But if you never stop to build your future wealth, your assets, you will never have it. And if you don't do this for you, nobody will do this for you. Last year, I was invited to go to China and to give a lecture to a university. And I made this presentation, and I posed this question also to the students at that time. If we go to downtown Beijing, stop 100 people on the street, and ask them if they know how to make money, how many will say yes? And the Chinese audience answered back, Dajia. Chinese here, they know everybody. And then I asked the second question. If we ask the same 100 people, do you save? Do you spare? Do you put aside some money every month and reserve for the future? How many will say yes? And do you know what the Chinese answered? Dajia! And I thought, I need to repeat the question because they did not understand it. And then I asked the question again. And then they spoke louder. Dajia! And then the interpreter said, Carlos, I think you don't know, but here in China, everybody saves. So that's a lesson we need to learn from the Chinese. Well, you will only prosper if you know how to save. So now we're going to make a test here to test your financial stability, okay? Think for a moment that you will not have any new income. No new money will come to your hands. No salary, no sales, no nothing. And you have to live only with the money that you have accumulated over the years. The question is, how long will you survive if you have no new income? I posed that question in a lecture recently in Brazil, and one of the girls in the audience, she replied, I would be able to survive for another 6 hours. Do we learn how to save in poverty or in wealth? Poverty. Because if we don't learn how to save in poverty, we will always be poor. So, if anybody at this time in this audience feels that you are living poverty, you're in the best moment of your life to change the situation and start saving from today, now. Well, now we're going to repeat a phrase, a concept, an idea in unison, okay? If you continue doing, in unison, if you continue doing what we've always done, we'll continue having the results we've always had. If we want different results, we must do something different. You can repeat this to your colleague, please. 1 minute. Please repeat one to the other. You can repeat, please. I'll stop it. Okay? Almost every week, I'm interviewed by a newspaper, magazine, radio station, television station, and sometimes reporters, journalists, they make some immodest questions, don't they? And one of the questions they usually make is, Carlos, can you please reveal the size of your fortune? It's kind of immodest question, is it? You don't go around asking people how much money they make and all this kind of stuff. Well, after being asked this question so many times, I decided to reveal the size of my fortune. Are you curious to know? You see how many curious people are in the audience? Well, this is the size of my fortune. Thank you. I found out that we work hard, we work long hours, overtime, over the weekend, all night long, and then finally we return home. And do you know something sad that I found out? If we don't have a family to go to, all the success, all the achievements, all the victories, all the glory that we find out there has no meanings. So this is why it's so important for us to be able to balance our professional, our personal, family, financial life. And I end my presentation inviting, if there's people here that have interest in developing an online platform for education, we have an interest in talking to you. We have a gift card platform that we launched in Brazil that's doing very well. And also we have a business concept called Actus, which is the combination of your PayPal with your Square. So if you have systems in that area, we are also interested in talking to you. I end my presentation with this line. If you really want to succeed in life, believe in yourself, believe in God, believe in the people around you, believe in your dreams, believe in your infinite potential. Thank you very much.